Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for coming in and joining the Team Libra show. We're going to get right into it. There's really no time to waste. I'm going to try to go ahead and get this done super quick for you guys. So go ahead before we get started. Thank you so much for joining the Team Libra show. And go ahead and hit that like and smash the subscribe. I'll tell you guys, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe. I definitely want to see my subscriptions going up after bringing this fire. I'm trying to tell you guys because if you guys want to hear what Team Libra has to say and the way Team Libra bring that fire, then trust and believe you better be smashing that subscribe because it's going to be well worth it. And thank you so much in advance. So let's get right into it. Okay, so everyone knows that Diddy has been under fire. P. Diddy, Puffy, Puff Daddy, Sean Diddy Combs, Sean Combs, Bad Boy. Label owner, as well as I think Daddy's recording studio in New York. So he's been under fire. He's had many lawsuits that's been coming against him. And the one that I really want to pay attention on is going to be the fifth lawsuit. Now, he did have where Cassie Ventura, she did sue him through civil court. And he did settle out of court. Like it says, Cassie Ventura filed a 35-page lawsuit and she exposed Sean Diddy Combs for subjecting her to nearly a decade of physical, sexual, and emotional abuse, punctuated by rape, sex trap. Oh my gosh, well, you know the word, and being forced to engage in fueled, non-consensual encounters with other males as well. Okay, so that's what this complaint that's filed that they were filing um, with um, Jane Doe against Diddy, but the way that it starts out, it just kind of gives a recap of Diddy settling that case November 16th with Cassie Ventura, who had accused Diddy of similar situation. So just to get right into it, I really want to focus on this girl, this young girl here. She's a 17-year-old minor, and it looks like Sean Combs, Diddy, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, um, and his bad boy president, CEO, Harve Pierre, as well as a third assailant. It looks like that person is going to be a celebrity or some high power individual as well. That person is going to be unnamed for now. But we're going to get into it. And I just want to touch base because I want to pull out. I know a lot of people are covering the story, but Team Libra is going to cover the story how I know to cover the story. So I've done my own research and back end, based off of the information that's made publicly available. And I just want to share some of the information with you guys to kind of maybe bring a little bit more enlightenment. So I really want to find out because this third assailant is a mystery person until further notice here, until discovery. And then there's some key information here that I want to kind of break down to figure out if we can verify the validity of this claim of this alleged incident that was taking place of assault or abuse against a 17-year-old girl that was in the 11th grade at the hands of Diddy, his CEO, president of Bad Boy Records Company, Harve Pierre, as well as a third assailant, unnamed, and then another person who was just, or people that doesn't seem really of importance. So let's take a look here and then let's try to break this down really quickly because I don't have too much time and I like to just get right to the points. So I want to specifically take a look at the fifth allegation or the fifth case that's been brought against Sean Combs or Diddy, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy. So it says number 6, specifically in 2003, when the girl was 16 years old and in 11th grade, Doe was trafficked and gang R-worded by Mr. Combs, Mr. Pierre, and the third assailant. She was just a teenager when this happened. So I want to get into a little bit of detail of exactly how this had taken place. And let's see what we know, and then we're going to break it down. We're going to find out about this private jet here. So it does say, so after it says about the 2003, the girl wasn't 18, she was only 17 in 11th grade. She was just a teenager, and It was a third assailant with the president of Bad Boy, Harve Pierre, in a lounge in Detroit, Michigan, which, for those of you that don't know, a lot of you do know. So Harve Pierre had talked to the girl, told the girl, that he knows Mr. Combs or Puff Daddy or Diddy. So he did call Diddy, and the girl did get to speak to Diddy. And Mr. Sean Combs or Puff Daddy or Diddy, he did convince the girl it's him and everything. And he convinced the girl to aboard a private jet to come to the studio in New York from Detroit, Michigan. So we do know that. Now, before they left for the private jet, they said that the guy, Harve Pierre, had smoked the crack cocaine in the bathroom at a lounge as well. And then he assaulted Miss Doe, the young minor, again, the 17-year-old, forcing her to do things that she did not want to do, as far as oral S. So we'll call it that. So then it says that the third assailant, they're calling it the third assailant. It's a pseudonym, but when the name of the third assailant is revealed during the discovery, the plaintiff will seek to amend the complaint to replace the pseudonym. So if it doesn't settle and it does end up getting to the discovery phase, that's where the third assailant will be named. So we do know that. Now, also the third assailant, Harve Pierre, and another gentleman then took the girl after they left the lounge, did all types of nasty stuff in the bathroom. They left the lounge, escorted the high school girl onto a private jet, and then the jet had flew her to Teterboro, New Jersey. And then there was an SUV waiting on her at the group at Teterboro. And then the four of them had drove to Daddy's House recording studio, which was owned by Mr. Combs and Bad Boy. And then different things happened at the studio. The girl was, like I said, only a minor child, 17 years old. She became they put a whole lot of drugs and alcohol in her system. She became heavily inebriated, according to these documents that we're looking at here. And eventually to the point that she just didn't even know what was going on. She couldn't consent to anything, and she got abused over and over and over. Again, by, it says, Mr. Combs, the third assailant, Mr. Pierre, it was in that order there. She just got basically heavily abused. So I wanted to verify the validity of this story because I do know that Diddy or Sean Combs did release a statement on his Instagram saying that enough is enough, and these people are definitely just saying things, and they're out for, they're just out to get him and this and that. And so, yeah, so the girl, she did have images here. And so within the color of this girl could be Hispanic, she could be an Asian, or she can even be a Caucasian girl from what it looks like here. And I've been noticing that Diddy has a lot of interest in Asian women for some reason, people like Vietnamese or just these Asian women. So that's something that is a sidebar conversation I'm looking into, but I don't know what color the girl is, but no matter what color she is, it really doesn't matter. She's a minor child that's only 17 years old. Okay, so we do know that she said that she aborted a private jet, and then they took her and dropped her off at the Teterboro airport. So once she got off the private jet. Now, the Teterboro, New Jersey, to be exact. So now I do know in 2003, I'm like, I was looking over and I didn't see where. I know that I don't think that Diddy owned a private jet at that time. So I had to start looking around to see what I could find as far as about that, to see is this really real? Like this 17-year-old girl, it sounded like it was just like kind of far-fetched. Maybe it was real, but it was just like unheard of. Like, wow, it just seemed like some movie type of stuff to get on just aboard a private jet just in the middle of nowhere and go to New Jersey and this and that on a private jet and then get with an SUV. I mean, I was like, what? That just sounded, it just sounded just over the top. So let's see here. So then what I did, I had to just begin to do my own research again, like I said. So I did come across some information here that started bringing everything together with the story about how possibly did this girl could have possibly got on a private jet. Where did the private jet could have came from? Had it really been a private jet? And so give me 1 second here. Okay, make sure you guys can see. Okay, so we're going to go ahead, and this is an article here, and this is an article, one second. Oh, here we go. Let's get over here. Okay, so this article here, as you see, it says, one second. Okay, so the article, let me make sure you guys can see it pretty good. Yeah, so it says founders of luxury charter jet company sentenced to prison in illegal flight scheme. So it shows here that Newark, New Jersey, Michael Brassington, the president and CEO, chief pilot and co-founder of luxury charter jet company, Platinum Jet Management, LLC, and his brother, Paul Brassinger, vice president and co-founder of the company, were sentenced today to 30 months and 18 months in prison, respectively, for offenses arising from a conspiracy to commit continuous and willful violations of the regulatory requirements for the operation of commercial charter aircraft, U.S. Attorney Paul J. Fisher announced. So these two brothers were convicted back in November 2010 after only 4 days of deliberation following a 4-week trial before the district judge, Dennis Kavanaugh, imposed the sentence today in Newark. Okay, that was in 2010. Now, what happened? Well, this is going to go all the way back, just to get to the meat of the potatoes here. They said from November 2002 to November 2003, these defendants operated Platinum Jet as an on-demand commercial jet charter company without having a certificate known as a Part 135 certificate, which is required by federal aviation regulations for charter operation and is granted only after a rigorous application process. So that process requires operators, among other things, to develop comprehensive operating, training, and maintenance manuals that will govern their charter operations. The defendants lied in contractual documents, faxed to charter brokers in other states about Platinum Jet's illegal regulatory and safety status. They operated more than 115 commercial flights during this period with pilots who, in some instances, did not know how to fly the airplanes. More than $3 million in revenue they had gained. The pilots were mainly flying athletes and other celebrities, including but not limited to Luciano Pavarotti, Joe Montana, Burt Reynolds, the members of Duran Duran, Ozzy Osbourne, Snoop Dogg, Michael Stipe, Shaquille O'Neal, Sean Diddy Combs, there he goes, Sean Diddy Combs, John Bon Jovi, and Sean J. Carter and Keith Richards. Do you see when this happened? Do you see when this happened? From November 2002 until November 2003. Now let's see when that girl got trafficked. Let's see when that young little girl got trafficked. Let me find out. Let me find out, and let's go ahead and get over to, let me find out, November. Hold on. No, not that one. Wait 1 second. Nope, we won't say November. Let's say, oh, spring. Yeah. Okay, let's see when she was trafficked. This is that document again, the actual paper, the complaint. Let's get it, guys. I'm just wanting to know what's going on. Okay, so let's see. Okay, spring. 1 second. Let me get it back again. I'm sorry. Come on. Now it wants to have a delay. Okay, so I think it said page 5, so give me 1 second. 1 second, guys. You know, these computers got a mind of their own. Be quiet. Okay, 1 second. Because for some reason my 1 second. Oh my gosh. Hang on. Let me just get to the page because it's going to go a little slow. For some reason, my computer is lagging, guys. So just bear with me. I just got to get to when these, okay. One second. Oh my gosh. I literally could go to the keyword and now it doesn't want to go to the keyword. One second. Let me make sure you guys can see it too. Oh, here it is. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. So let's see when, because hold on. I don't know why it's not. Just give me a second here. Because for some reason it doesn't want to, November. Okay, one second. Come on. One second. I literally put the you just can't have everything that goes slow. Oh, here it is. Okay. No, it's not. Dang. Okay, one second. Well, anyway, I'm just gonna put. You'll see it right here. Just look. I'm gonna pull it up here, but it's not probably gonna come up. But here it is, right here, page 6. Okay, it says page 6. On the evening between the spring of 2000 on the spring and fall of 2003. So that's when this is taking place. Hang on, let me just go to page 6 because it told me what page it was on. Hang on. Oh, here it is. Number 22 right here. Number 22. On the evening between the spring and fall of 2003, Miss Doe was out with her friends. So they told us when it happened. It was uncommon for her. It was not uncommon for her and her friends to frequent bars and lounges in Detroit area. Certain of Miss Doe's friends were well acquainted with people in the music industry. So this girl is 17. She might have been around people 17, 16, 18, who knows how old, but these are her friends, so they may be her age, but it could be other celebrities as well that's doing the same thing because they're out and they know, people in the music industry, they have connections. So on this specific evening, in the spring, fall 2003, that's where the girl, Miss Doe, was with her friends in the lounge. And that's when she was approached by Mr. Pierre. And he was with his friends. He had some friends with him. And then he also included the third assailant. So this third assailant, like they said, they know who it is, but they're just going to keep it private. So unless it gets to discovery. So this is a celebrity as well. Now, remember, we already just looked. So you already see that what happened, right? That after that, this day, like they said, so then she saw the people. She saw Harve Pierre. He said that he knew Mr. Combs, and Mr. Combs would like to meet her. She talked to Mr. Combs. She believed everything. They scheduled a flight. He started doing some crack cocaine or drugs. Then he started essaying her, as y'all see by looking at these documents here, doing a lot of horrible things to this minor person. So that's what he was doing there. And then after that, it says on number 29 here, after assaulting Ms. Doe, Mr. Pierre directed her to come with him and the third assailant and the third member of the group to the airport in Pontiac, Michigan. So they went to the airport in Pontiac, Michigan, where Signature, a fixed base operator, had prepared a private jet to take the four of them to New York City. So upon information and belief, the private jet landed in Teterboro Airport. Upon departing the jet, the two black SUVs were waiting there. And then that's where, once they got there, Harve Pierre, the third assailant, and then the other members of the group, they went into the SUV, and then they went, number 32, it says that they went and they finally went to Daddy's house recording studio. And then that's where they met Diddy there. And then that's where a lot of the essay continued. A lot of pouring into drugs and alcohol into this, applying into the 17-year-old girl. And then she was essayed, assaulted against her will. She didn't know what was going on with Diddy, Harve Pierre, the third assailant. So now we're looking at, it looks like here, like I said, going back to give me one moment here. We're going to go back to that airline there. Let's share that really quickly. So it does show, I just want to show you guys there that it says from November 2002 to November 2003, the defendants operated Platinum Jet as an on-demand commercial charter company without having a certificate, known as Part 135 certificate, which is required by federal aviation, like I told you guys. So when you go on to look, it says that they had locations in Teterboro Airport, um, as you guys see here. So it says that they were taking around the athletes, a lot of the celebrities, athletes, and they also took Joe Montana, Burt Reynolds, Duran, Ozzy Osbourne, Snoop Dogg, Michael Stipe, Shaquille O'Neal, Sean Diddy, Combs, John Bon Jovi, Sean Jay-Z Carter, and Keith Richards. So if they were on these private jets, you don't see Harve Pierre's name on here because he wouldn't have been able. And Diddy was already at the Daddy's studio or Daddy's house studio in New York. So it had to have been someone else that knows Diddy that actually has relationships with these private jet companies that can get Harve Pierre and this young minor onto this private jet. And this commercial jet was flying illegally, so they might not even kept proper records, proper jet logs, what you call those flight sheets, flight logs with names on them. So many things probably went overhead that wasn't documented because this was an illegal company that was flying across the airwaves illegally, and the people, as you see, went to prison finally for this act. It took all the way until 2010, but the acts was happening in 2002 to 2003, and that's the same amount of time that the young girl said that she was violated by Harve Pierre, Diddy, Sean Diddy Combs, as well as a third assailant, as well as other members as well. So I was trying to figure out as well who, what type of activity was Diddy in and who was his friends. And then I did see that he did a Bad Boys CD and he had some people on there and he was excited about it. He had, what's the Bad Boys? I think this was, 2003. So this was something that he had, and it was Bad Boys 2, 2003. And he said that he had all his friends on it, but he had Jay-Z, Lenny Kravitz, Pharrell, Martin Lawrence, Will Smith. He had Beyonce on there, 50 Cent. Now him and 50 Cent falling out now, but 50 Cent and him was pretty cool at this point because he said that he had his friends on his album in 2003. Notorious B.I.G., he passed away. He had Justin Timberlake, Mary J. Blige on there, Foxy Brown, Mario Winans. So when you're looking at this list, they don't, Martin Lawrence, Will Smith, they already trashing Will Smith. They already trashed Martin Lawrence. He already went so-called crazy. They already trashed Lenny Kravitz with his wife, I think Halle Berry. Diddy, they already trashing him, so they don't care. Pharrell Williams and the Loon, I don't think they would care to trash him. Jay-Z, they probably don't want to trash Jay-Z. Nelly, they may or may not sure. Murphy Lee, they don't care. Fat Joe, not sure. Beyonce, they definitely don't want to trash her. Notorious B.I.G. did. The other people, they don't care to trash. They even trashed Mary J. Blige during her divorce. They don't care about making the band, so it's not them. So, okay, so we see there that he was doing this, he was doing Making the Band, MTV. He started doing that, I think, from 2002 to 2009. He did the Bad Boys 2 soundtrack, 2003. So then let's pull up this these articles here to take a look at let's see. And here's an article here. Jay-Z, Diddy, Ditch the Suits and Ties, Get Grimy in La La video. This, if you look up to the top left, article by Shaheem Reed, May 15th, 2003, MTV. And it shows here, New York. They were in New York. And remember, they said it happened. The girl said she was essayed or assaulted by the third assailant and Diddy and Harve Pierre. She said it was in this between the spring and between the spring and the fall of 2003. And right here, you see this was in May where they were doing the video, the set of Jay-Z's La La La. This was his set um, back in May 2003. And they said that it was like, no, it was a bed and no chairs or tables. It was this huge bed, Jay-Z and the Rock family members. They named some of them that were there. And then it was 20 girls. They were eating grapes, drinking liquor, and moving to the beat. So it shows you they still had, they had girls there. They were drinking liquor, and then they were, doing this video. So it says here that it doesn't get any bigger and badder than the combination of Jay-Z, Sean Jay-Z Carter, and Sean P. Diddy Combs, the two rap heavyweights who worked together on several occasions, said that although it was nothing new for them to align themselves on the project, this was extra special. Especially, they said basically because they got a new deal with Universal Records, said Diddy, who came in later in the night and stood side by side with Jigga. See, they came in later in the night and stood side by side with Jigga. So they do be together at night. Okay. And I'm just looking, trying to figure out who the third assailant could possibly be. Okay, so then, and La 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 is the lead single off the Bad Boy 2 soundtrack, which is being put out by Jay-Z's good friend. They was good friends in 2003. Besides the beautiful woman and cameos from Puff Daddy, DJ Clue, and Jacob the Driller, we also see some scenes from the movie when the video aired. So they were great friends. They were together a lot. Now, like I said, but he was also, so that's two times that they're saying that he would, I see he would 50, but I don't think it's 50 Cent that could have been with him, because 50 Cent is basically saying that he's telling on Diddy and doing a surviving Diddy. So it doesn't seem like that, it will be, it would be 50 Cent that was the third assailant. Just because he says, like he said, he looking to tell on him. So, he was his friend in 2003. So I would go to question him to say, hey, what do you know? I know you're saying surviving Diddy. Maybe that's why he's doing a surviving Diddy, but what did you witness? Because Cassie did say that people and celebrities were there to witness things. And it did show that Harve Pierre had worked even with Cassie in the past as well. So let's take a look here at another, to see what's going on in 2003, just to see with Diddy, to see, 1 second, let's see. One second. Okay, so then here's another article. Even in 2003, when the girl's saying that she's getting shoved with drugs poured all down her throat and everything like that. So here's another article here in 2003, and this is with Mary J. when she was popping back up on the scene. So let's take a look. The title says Mary J. blames drugs and bad business sense for mid-90s split with Diddy. So it looks like here Dr. Dre had recently reconnected with Mary J. This article, when you take a look up to the top right again, I highlighted by Shaheem Reed, MTV article. Shout out to them. May 6th. So this is still in May, the spring 2003. This is when all of this stuff is going on with Diddy, when he's drugging this girl. Also, he's already been 4 other lawsuits naming him where in the 90s where he's drugging or he's hurting and drugging people and just doing things against their will that they didn't have any recollection of. And so now in 2003, here's Mary J. where she's talking about an article, but this time she's not blaming Diddy. She said the reason why she split up is her not understanding the business in the way that she needed to understand it. She said he had a label, he had female artists, he had Biggie, but during the time I was really dogging myself. I was a mess on drugs. Any smart man or businessman would have moved away from me. It felt like he was becoming distant, but looking back at it, I can understand why. I wasn't I wasn't delivering properly. I wasn't taking care of my health. So I can see why he didn't want to roll the dice on me. That's what she said. So really, right here, she's telling you that she was already with him from the start. She's heavily drugs and alcohol, even to the point that she had to get away from him, or he disassociated himself from her. But you're disassociating yourself from Mary in 2003, but even in the 90s. But at the same time, you're drugging other females on the low that you're not attached to, and you're essaying them, and you're just doing a lot of hurtful things. Mary J comes back with him to do some work with him to put together her next album because Dr. Dre came in and wanted them to do the album together. She didn't have a problem with it. They were pretty cool. So Dr. Dre is around him. He got a lot of people that's, really around him at this point. Harve Pierre, he's around. So you have a lot of people around. So when you're looking at 2003 and you're looking at Harve Pierre, and you're looking at Diddy that's being at already in New York in 2003. So the assailant, the third assailant that they're not naming, that's the assailant that's going to be able to get on these private jets because they didn't own a private jet at the time. So they would have had to have a private jet that would be able to fly them. And probably, I don't even know if they have record or they do or they don't have record. But this flight here is looking like a really good possibility because this is 2002 November to November 2003, and this is exactly when the young minor is saying that these horrific things had happened to her. So we can only do the math, but there's many different occasions that. Let me show you guys this one last thing because I think that they was just saying the powerhouse. They were looking at Jay-Z and they were looking at Diddy during the time as a let me see if it's in here. No. Okay, 1 second. So let's stop. Okay, give me 1 second because he's gonna say they're a powerhouse. Like they were so deeply involved in so many ties and connections at this time. Not saying it is Jay-Z either because I've never seen Jay-Z get caught up in anything such as this. Never any allegations against him. He seems to be a pretty stand-up type of guy. I'm just looking at just to see the people who he was around and the people who he was just with and bragging on. And so that's all I'm doing here today. And so it just looks up a whole lot of times in this time frame that he's just spending a whole lot of time where he's saying his friends. So I don't know, maybe he was setting them up for this day here, but he's literally not just saying that these are artists that's listed on here, but this title here, Jay-Z, P. Diddy ditch the suits and ties and get grimy in the La La video. So that's where I was telling you guys about the girls and everything. But it says, he says that Bad Boy soundtrack, which is being put out by Jay-Z's good friend. Okay, so wait 1 second. So he said basically we got the new deal with Universal. He said him and Jay-Z got this new deal. They so excited. Now how they get this new deal with Universal now this is so funny. So like they said, he came in with Diddy later in the night. He came in and stood side by side with Jigga. Diddy did. So you see they do be together at night. Um, and he was with these other people. They decided to launch it in a big way with Bad Boy Soundtrack 2. They needed some help. They called on my friends. I called Jay and The Rock to be on the first single. They came out and supported it. I appreciate it. And that's what friendship is all about. The only way we could be a powerhouse is by sticking together. That really meant a lot to me. We're having a good time, Jay said about the shoot. I want people to understand it's much bigger than a song. We're setting a precedent right now. Two young Black entrepreneurs coming together, doing their thing. So they were all involved and absorbed in each other, absorbed in the movement and everything. That's why I'm like, but the only thing that kind of throw me off, like, I don't know, it could be Jay-Z, it could be 50 Cent, it could be Drake, it could be a lot of these people because Diddy said that he got all of his good friends together and he put them on the soundtrack together. He even said that this is almost unheard of, the way that this came together, the way that it did. Let me see if that's in here. Yeah, but he was just saying, it's another article here, but he was just saying how This is almost unheard of. Oh, it doesn't get any better, bigger and badder than a combination of Sean Jay-Z Carter, Sean Diddy Combs, the two rapper heavyweights who worked together on several occasions, said that although it was nothing new for them to align themselves on the project, this was one that was extra special. Now, as you can tell, look at this. Universal Records literally gave them a deal without even a deal. They just gave them a deal and gave them a whole bunch of money, and they had to go find some people to put a record together. This how that they were so in partners. So they were so tight together, so booming, so banging, and everything. So I'm just like, well, dang, the most person that I see around Diddy in 2003 would be Jay-Z. But like I said, Jay-Z don't really have a lot going on, like getting accused of any type of allegations that I know of. Like as far as assaulting people on that level or anything like that. I know, there was some word about Tierra Marie, possibly him engaging with her or maybe Foxy Brown, but none of those girls ever came out to make any allegations. So that doesn't stick. So I really didn't hear anything from him, but it could possibly be him along with a lot of other people, just because he's listed a lot with him, even at night in the studio records, in control of some label, studio records together, working together pretty tough. So that's why I just thought of him. But the only thing that kind of threw me off there was, I'm gonna go ahead and end this on this tip, and you guys can let me know what you think. But the only thing that threw me off about the whole thing is that, one second, in the statement, the girl or the Mrs. Doe. Let me see if I go to 14. Give me one second. So only thing that kind of threw me off is that they were just saying where these characters are living at, right? And so it says, oh, excuse me. So give me one second. I'm gonna pull it up really quickly. We're gonna end it on this note, and I really want you guys to let me know what you think. So it says that, hang on, let me go see again what page this was on. Page 5. Okay, give me a second. Okay, so the only thing that kind of threw me off, like I was kind of gearing towards, like I said, I even know 50 Cent is saying that he's going to be telling on him or writing Surviving Diddy. But then I saw him come up in 2003. So I don't see him really coming out, 50 Cent, telling us anything that he knows. He only telling us what other people saying, just like I'm telling what other people has already wrote or what the old articles are saying. That's all he's doing. He hasn't told us anything that he knows about 2003 when he was in the recording studios. He hasn't told us if he saw anything or he didn't. Maybe he's waiting on the Surviving Diddy, or I don't know, or maybe he has some things going on in his closet as well. I don't know. But the only person, the closest person to Diddy or Sean Diddy Combs at the time, like I said, all throughout 2003 was Jay-Z. But like I said, I'm not accusing Jay-Z of anything, but this is just what we're finding out now. Also, what really, one second, I just have to get to this part. Because they say, oh no, hang on. No, not that. Platinum Jane Dollars Canada 13 depending on okay. So they say on page 5, but it's not coming up. So hang on, it's at the bottom. Okay, so I just want to show you what threw it off is that they said that the defendant, the Jane Doe, is living in Canada, which I'm going to find it, but I'm just going to tell you until I find it. Jane Doe currently residing in Canada. Sean Diddy Combs is currently residing in in California. Oh, it is going up. It said Harve Pierre was living in New York. And then it said the third assailant that they know of. Here we go. So right here at the parties, the plaintiff Jane Doe is a citizen of Canada. Defendant Sean Combs is a citizen of the state of California. The defendant Harve Pierre is a citizen of the state of New York. The defendant, the third assailant, is upon information and belief a citizen of the state of New York. So that's why I'm like, and then the defendant's daddy's house recording studio is a music media entertainment company founded by the defendant Sean Combs. Daddy's house is incorporated and headquartered in New York. Okay. So and the defendant, who was a minor, was SA'd by the third assailant, Mr. Combs, and Harve Pierre. Now, the only thing that threw me off was they said that the defendant, who was the third assailant, is have information or belief to possibly be in, from what they know of, the state of New York. And the only thing that I know is I know that Jay-Z have property and Beyonce, they have property in New York. They also have property that they live in California. And then they also have property, I believe, in Texas. So I don't know where they reside. So I don't know, that right there. So that's the only thing that can kind of throw me off. And it may not be him. It could even be even a record, another, maybe it can even be someone like Clive Davis or what's his name, Jimmy Iovine as well. But I see Diddy out with Jimmy Iovine a lot. I see Diddy going to parties. I see Jimmy Iovine going to his parties. I don't see Clive Davis out with any of them. I don't see Clive Davis like at a lot of parties with them. So the main characters that I really see a lot, especially with Diddy, is maybe Jimmy Iovine and Jay-Z. But again, this is not to accuse anyone. I'm just looking at who's with him in 2003, because this young girl, minor child, was trafficked, heavily assaulted. She was hurt against her will. And, we really want to just really put it all together there. So I'm going to go ahead and in the girl, it looks like that she could be of either Hispanic origin, maybe Caucasian, or maybe Asian. I know Diddy, Sean Combs, he seems to like a lot of these Asian girls. I'm looking at that. And there's a lot of Asian girls that he's kind of with. I don't know for what. I'm kind of doing another sidebar research on that. But like I said, here's just really quickly where it does show that the plaintiff, Jane Doe, is a citizen of Canada. Sean Combs, even though the girl was in Detroit, Michigan, she's a citizen of Canada. Sean Combs is a citizen of California. Harve Pierre, like it shows here, New York. And then the third assailant, there's believed to be in the state of New York or living in the state of New York, but it's kind of like a sidebar possibility. So I'm going to go ahead and end it. What do you guys think about this? And what do you guys think about that private jet? Could this have been the private jet that really took Jane Doe to from Michigan to Teddersboro, New Jersey, where she was picked up at the airport with the SUV taken to Diddy at Daddy's studio in New York? And could the third assailant, I don't know, like I said, he's spending a lot of time with Jay-Z. And even during the time, I know Jay-Z was it a basketball team or something there in 2003? The Nets or something like that. So he had heavy business there, and they were really feeling themselves. I know that, and even Beyonce was listed on that Bad Boy 2 soundtrack. But I just don't know, I just can't, just like I said, because even it's so many heavy hitters that's on that Bad Boy 2, because you got, like I said, Jay-Z, you got Beyonce, Lenny Kravitz, you got 50 Cent, you got Snoop Dogg, Loon, Justin Timberlake. So, some people, they might not, Nelly, they might not want to really throw under the bus right now. I know that they'll throw Snoop Dogg under the bus, because every time something happened with Snoop Dogg, his wife or anything happened, they throw him under the bus. But I don't know that they would be willing to throw him under the bus now. But, he just had a lot of important people around him. But for the main part that I see, I just see a lot of Jay-Z. But then, like I said, I see Dr. Dre around. Let me see, was Drake around? Let me see right quick. I didn't see him on this album here. So yeah, but I don't know. Tell me what you think. Because like I said, he had a lot of heavy hitters around. And when I saw 50 Cent on there, I was like, wow, 50 Cent is not telling us anything about 2003. But he is saying that he's thinking about doing a Surviving Diddy. There was a lot of producers on that 2003 Bad Boys 2 album, just to name a few of them. P. Diddy, Harve Pierre, Mario Winans, Ryan Leslie, Ryan Leslie was also the one that brought out supposedly Cassie, where she only was allowed to work with him and she couldn't work with anybody else to produce that first album. And then he's acting like he loved her, but I think it was some foul play with Ryan Leslie, and I think that he possibly hurt Cassie tremendously as well. But some other producers of the Bad Boy, to the Neptunes, Young Lord, Cool, Cool and Dre, Nelly, Stevie J, MOP, Lenny Kravitz. So it's a lot of heavy hitters. But like I said, he was around certain people just more often than others. But we just really don't know who was at the studio that day. But like I said, I did find an article that I did see one person that he was at the studio at night with, and that was Jay-Z. But I don't know. But guys, let me know what you think. It could have been any one of the people. I would hope it's not any of the people I named, but I just don't know. Go ahead, smash the subscribe. Let me know what you think about this video. Let me hit the subscribe, guys, because if you guys like what you're seeing here, you want me to bring more, I got more, then I need to know that you guys are feeling me. You guys are feeling this fire I'm bringing. Thank you so much for joining the Team Libra Show. Thank you so much for subscribing. Make sure you share this video to get it out there. And I'm going to go ahead and end the video and go ahead and share, like, subscribe. Thank you so much for joining Team Libra today. Peace.